So what is up, y'all? This is your boy AJ Trip, and we have a rapid reaction for you, and it is a sad one. I am sad to announce Hugh Hefner, Playboy Magazine founder, has died today at the age of 91. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read for you from CNBC.com what has happened, and give some thoughts afterwards. Hugh Hefner, the iconic founder of Playboy Magazine, died at his home, the Playboy Mansion, of natural causes at 91. Playboy Enterprises said in a statement on Wednesday. Playboy Magazine was founded more than 60 years ago to create a niche, upscale men's magazine, combining images of nude women with in-depth articles, interviews, and fiction by a variety of well-known writers. Hefner reportedly founded the magazine with $600 and another $1,000 borrowed from his mother. The first centerfold, an iconic feature of the monthly magazine, was Marilyn Monroe. My father lived an exceptional and impactful life as a media and cultural pioneer and a leading voice behind some of the most significant social and cultural movements of our time in advocating free speech, civil rights, and sexual freedom. Cooper Hefner, Playboy Enterprises Chief Creative Officer and Hugh's son, said in a statement. He defined a lifestyle and ethos that lie at the heart of the Playboy brand and one of the most recognizable and enduring in history, the young Hefner said. While the magazine managed to both inspire and ride the sexual revolution of the 60s and 70s, in recent years it has struggled in the face of tough competition from the availability of free pornography online. For a brief period, from mid-2016 through early 2017, the magazine experimented with avoiding nudity altogether before returning to its previous formula. The statement said Playboy Magazine was aimed at more than the market for nude images. Hefner took a progressive approach not only to sexuality and humor, but also literature, politics, and culture. The statement said, calling the Playboy interview an extensive discussion between a well-known person and an interview a standard setter. Hefner also led free speech battles in the U.S., fighting all the way to the Supreme Court after the U.S. Post Office refused to deliver his magazine, the statement noted. Hefner is survived by his wife Crystal, his sons Cooper, David, and Marston, and his daughter Christy, the statement said. So yeah, I mean, I think that's like the biggest thing when it comes to Hugh Hefner. He is an American icon, and he is a pioneer in the free speech, the sexual revolution, everything you can think of. And I did this once, but I wanted to do it over again because I really wanted to give him his due, because I couldn't do it when I was doing it. I'm doing also another live stream on my video game channel, so I wanted to take time out to do this because I felt like he did deserve like his rightful respect, and I knew that I could find an article online that would give it to him, and that's why I just read it. And I think as someone who advocates for free speech like I do, I think that's the biggest thing that we have in our country is free speech, and now to say things and do things. We wouldn't be doing this thing right here on YouTube if it wasn't for free speech. So we definitely should thank Hugh Hefner for some of that advocacy of free speech and the stuff that he had fought for. I think the sexual revolution of the 60s and 70s, and when Playboy came along with that, I think that helped out people anyway, because I think it made sex, and listen, sex is still a very taboo subject. See, people still get up in arms about it, and things like that. And you still have all these judgments and preconceived notions and things like that. But I think it definitely helped free out that way, and I think it freed out the whole genre and made sex more I think there's, listen, I think, listen, we all know we've had sex because we've had kids, right? So it's gone down the line, but I think for the longest time, maybe you were uptight about talking about it and more or less being enjoying about it, right? Because what's the thing? There's this thing you're talking about that the original vibrator was used to curtail women, like hysteria, like, you know, like what they would do, like if a woman was like being crazy or something like that, they would get something vibrated and put it, you know, and then it would curtail her, you know, and it would settle her down. So basically, you know, you made a woman stop being crazy by giving her an orgasm, right? That's kind of like the way it goes. But you weren't allowed to talk about it like that or anything like that. You know, you just, well, this is to stop her from being crazy. No, that's to stop her from being horny. That's really what it is, right? So, and I think we're doing that whole, you know, revolution. It became more, you know, okay to say that a woman could be horny, right? And she could be sexual and she could be free. And Hugh Hefner, I think, helped with that with this magazine. And they're always going to be distracted, saying that it's nothing but, you know, smut, and that it doesn't help women and just makes them sexual objects and things like that. But I think a sensible person would say that if it's not hurting anybody, not hurting themselves, then why are you up in arms about it? You know, just let them be who they want to be. I don't think you don't need to put judgments on people or anything like that. And I think that's what one of the things Hugh Hefner did with this magazine. I think it showed them that, you know, that this was a total, you know, that, you know, even though the naked body was something special and something to be desired and something to be, you know, fawned over, that you could do it in a way to where it was respectable. And I think that's what came off like that. So I second the fact of the thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his sons and his wife and his daughters and all of the men and women who worked under him and worked for him and became his friends and everything like that, and all of the women that, you know, that he changed their lives. You know, I don't know. I was looking on Twitter earlier, and there was a lot of women talking about him, and I think there are some women who I think are, you know, they had their issues with him, and that's been, you know, this and that. But I think it looks like for the most part, a lot of people are still, you know, they're upset. They are torn down that fact that he's, you know, he's gone. So. Yeah. So once again, I just send my thoughts out to those who knew him and who are going to miss him. And there's not going to be another person like Hugh Hefner. There's another person who's going to take on the establishment like he did. Is going to, you know, open people's eyes and do things like that. There's, you know, they talked about there's all this online stuff that goes on, but there's only going to ever be one Playboy magazine. Nothing. The other magazines, they try to be them, or they don't. They try to make an alternative, and it's there and it's out there, and they've been around forever. But this was the original, and it's always going to be like that. And you have to think. And so, once again, I send my thoughts out to those who are mourning the loss of a family member, of a friend, or a boss, and much, much more that Hugh Hefner meant to them. So that is that. Thank you all guys for watching. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And rest